All right. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where in the international community you are. My name is Megan Jones. I'm the Executive Director of ICEAA, and I'm delighted to welcome you to our 2025 All Members Meeting, where you're going to get a snapshot on what we've been up to since last time and what we're looking forward to doing until next time. You'll be hearing from most of our executive committee today and a member of the board. If you have questions for anyone, including technical questions for me, please put those in the chat. I'll be monitoring that throughout. Depending on time allotted, we'll be able to get to your questions. If not, we will reach out to you offline and help you get the answers you need. So thank you all for joining us. And if I can introduce our international president, Christina Snyder.
Thanks, Megan. So as we start going through the slides, thanks for the introduction. For those who don't know me, I'm Christina Snyder. This is my second term as ICEAA International President, so I really appreciate all of you who voted for me and trusted me again to lead our great organization. I'm going to start by telling you that one of my favorite speeches gave the advice that if there's an elephant in the room, you should name the elephant. This morning, it started with a US government shutdown, and that coupled with lots of new directives and new technologies has started to change our field rapidly. And I don't know about you, but that can make our future feel a little unpredictable. My family will tell you that I'm a big believer in controlling what you can control. So to me, when the future feels unpredictable, I believe in investing in yourself and your career. And that ensures that you, as a professional, remain resilient, visible, and ready for the next opportunity. I also believe that one of the most powerful ways to do this is by joining and becoming a more active member of ICEAA. To me, the benefits of ICEAA membership are clear. I sure hope so, as I'm the president. Membership signals to your peers, to potential employers, to your existing employer, and to your clients that you are serious about cost estimating and that you are staying in the know of best practices and new tools. In terms of networking with ICEAA, you gain access to a community of professionals who can open new doors for you, share opportunities, and provide mentorship. ICEAA provides exclusive training, resources, and certification that keep your skills relevant and sharp. An active involvement helps you showcase your own expertise, writing new papers, putting out what you have done within the community, helps you contribute to the profession, and builds a reputation for yourself that can set you apart from your peers. But finally, I want to talk about what I see as one of the most important reasons to be a member of ICEAA, which is the support. In challenging times, to me, it's invaluable to have a network that's going through it with you, that provides encouragement, advice, and collaboration. Next slide. Okay. So, with all of that said, all of this is on our website, but much like we repeat the pledge every day when we were in school, I think it's important once a year to reiterate to the members what our vision is. So, the vision for the profession is to be a vital, respected, indispensable, growing community of practice composed of ICEAA certified professionals recognized as best in class. The vision for the organization at large is to be universally recognized for developing, disseminating, and advocating best practices that maximize the value of the global cost estimating and analysis community to both the public and private sector resource decision makers. So our mission statement. Every organization has one. This is ours. ICEAA is an international nonprofit organization dedicated to advancing, encouraging, promoting, and enhancing the profession of cost estimating and analysis through the use of parametrics and other data-driven techniques. We strive to facilitate the success of cost estimating and analysis community of practice by providing you guys, as our members, opportunities to learn, teach, collaborate, present, and network in a collegial environment devoted to professional growth and success. So, when I became president 2 years ago, I came up with these KPIs. I thought I was being funny with how we get KPIs through when we're doing our actual estimates. But I really do like these. So, real quick, what I see is what we've done in my now 2 years as being president. Keeping people interested. It's really been a focus of my board to continue to find new ways to interest members to become more involved in ICEA. One of my favorite ideas that started in 2023 was the ICEA Cost Challenge. We've had them at our past three workshops. We're just consistently blown away by the enthusiasm and feedback we receive from this. Next year in Norfolk, we'll be doing this challenge again. So not only are we looking for those juniors that are willing to throw their name in the hat, but we're also looking for senior cost estimators that are willing to help facilitate the competition. Keeping people involved. I think you guys know you've seen the calls for volunteers. We are always looking for volunteers to not just help out at the workshop when we are there, but to also facilitate the planning and to help at the chapter level with their events throughout the year. Keeping people informed. Meetings like today are one of the ways we try to make sure everyone, not just the board members, know what's going on within ICEA. We also have our journal that goes out and our magazine that Megan works very hard to make sure gets distributed to you, not just online, but in some people's mailboxes. And then keeping people inspired. I personally love hearing how our field keeps changing. It's always new challenges. It's what keeps our profession interesting, but more so hearing the solutions that you guys come up with these unique challenges. Uh, it's not just the pre-program training. Our training is the best practices, but and it's not actually just the papers that you guys come up with that keep pushing the field better and better. It's the conversations that I've had with you individually at our networking events that I know have helped me become a better analyst by keeping me inspired. So, one of the things that I had when I started taking over these all member meetings is I figured nobody really wants to hear me talk for an hour straight. So I'm going to ask all the members of the executive committee to present to you today. I want you to become familiar with our names, our faces. So at our workshops or at our networking events, you feel comfortable coming up to talk to any one of us. Let us know how ICEA can help you, but also where you'd be willing to help ICEA. And then individually on our website, we do have a list of all of our chapters. You can look at the map if you're not sure which region you fall into. In the 2025 to 2027 Board of Directors, I'd like to thank Patrick, Courtney, Carol, Jennifer, Dave, Javier, Tom, Rich, Carrie, Mohammed, Jasmine, and Sanath to all throw their names in the hat to participate, to give their time to the ICEA board and help their individual regions and countries. So, some of the accomplishments that we've had since last time. So, thank you to everyone who participated in the 2025 Development and Training Workshop in Atlanta. I'll be honest, we weren't sure what that workshop was going to look like. We were really nervous as travel funding dollars were very tight. But I will say that was one of my favorite workshops. I really thought some of the training was great. I loved all of the keynotes that we had, and it really showed how much enthusiasm there was. Although it wasn't as big of a crowd as we would have really liked to have had, it was absolutely a very enthusiastic one, and I really appreciate every single one of you who helped make that event a success. We also hosted our third annual OEM forum and networking event. A big shout out to all of the OEMs that participate in that. It's becoming a big feature and people really look forward to it. I've already talked about how much I love the ICEA Cost Challenge. It's exactly what I would have loved when I was a junior starting out. And it's really cool to see the ideas that come through from each of your individual companies. I'm really proud of the work that has come out of that over the past 3 years. I believe that we'll be talking about this later, but we have had some updates to Module 6, Data Analysis, which was one of our modules that desperately needed a little bit of an overhaul to keep with the times. So very happy that that has been finished. We also had a new course focused on BOEs that was debuted at the workshop, and we are working on just refining it a little bit and deciding what that product is going to look like moving forward. And most exciting, we updated the eligibility requirements for PCA. This is one that we had got a lot of calls for this of, hey, we have some really eager juniors who want to take the exam, who want to study. What can we do? And we'll be talking a little bit about just making sure you guys understand those eligibility requirements later. So I kind of started out with my, hey, here's what I see in the changing world, what I see as a benefit to ICEA. One of the reasons I think anyone who's read or talked to me for more than 5 minutes knows I really love Adam Grant. And one of my favorite quotes of his is, in a stable world, is dependent on building expertise. But in a changing world, it hinges on evolving expertise. Watching our members grow throughout their careers, from first-time attendees at our workshop to volunteers to being more active members and furthering their own research, is what exactly the ICEA community is about to me. But I want to know, what does it mean to you? Why do you continue to show up? Why are you giving us your lunch hour today? Um, what has been the most valuable aspect of your ICEA membership to you? How has ICEA advanced your career? And how would you encourage someone to join who isn't sure that a cost estimating association is right for them? I'd love for you to email your thoughts to ICEA at ICEA Online. Me and Megan are trying to create some marketing materials that come from these actions, and it's really helpful to us to get a pulse of what is continuing to bring you out to ICEA. With that said, I do want, before I kick it over to Kelly, I do want to just bring up a couple of questions that did come to us before this event. The first was, can you describe on how ICEA can broaden membership base to include more industry and academia participation, and more importantly, what each one of you can do to help? So I saw this, I wanted to bring it up when I did the call for action. Um, I would love to broaden ICEA membership. I really see a value in our organization not just being solely focused on one government entity, on one country. I do think it should include more industry and academia participation. And that does lay into what you can do to help. If you know somebody who's interested in cost estimating, even if it's a profession that's just on the peripheral and you think they'd be like to join into the fold, bring them out to an event. Show some of our papers. Show what the work is that we're doing at ICEA and speak of those benefits. What does it mean to be an ICEA member and what benefit is it giving to you? Again, that's why Megan and I are trying to come up with those marketing materials to have some easy elevator sales pitches for you to give. But I think each one of you probably has your what's in it for me that you'd be willing to share. So if you know somebody, please bring them along. Uh, with that, I'm going to turn it over to Kelly to talk about the professional development update.
Thank you. Hello, good morning, everybody. I'm Kelly Benefiel, and I'm going to provide you some updates on the CBOC and CBOC-S. So regarding the CBOC, just as a reminder of what these products are, CBOC 2.0, we've moved a couple years ago to the browser-based Wikipedia-style website, and this access is available if you're an ICEA member. So all you need to do is log into the ICEA portal. So basically, the CBOC comes with your ICEA membership, and membership is $150 a year. And then we also now have the CBOC-S, and the format for that currently is a collection of PowerPoint, Excel, and PDF files. It's available for purchase and download online at the ICEAA online store. And the cost for the complete product is $595 for members or $745 for non-members. And this will contain all of the information that you need to know in order to study for the CBOC-S exam. So here's just another visual reminder of what the cost estimating body of knowledge looks like and how to access it. So when you're logged into your profile, if you click the drop down to quick links, the link to CBOC 2.0 is right there. That will take you to the main page, and from there you can access each module via the table of contents and pretty easily navigate through all of those modules. ICEAA has also adopted a new software system, so we can now offer you on-demand access to all of our CBOC-based training videos. This includes videos for all of the modules, and these are here for you to help you with your study of the material. They are not enough for you to pass the exam on their own, but they are meant to supplement the material online so that you can reinforce your learning from your reading and studying with these videos. I would also like to remind everybody that, and we'll talk about this later, but accessing CBOC training is another way, like these videos, to earn recertification points for your recertification. And since we've had some interesting challenges with attending conferences. If you normally go, that would be 2 points a year for recertification. But if you weren't able to get those points last year or this coming year, this is one great way to both refresh your knowledge of CBOC and then also to earn some training points. We also updated Module 6. This is the data analysis module, and the major additions are shown there in red. We updated the data visualization section to be more relevant to cost estimating, updated the examples to be more relevant, and also added some additional types of data visualization. And then we added a big section on machine learning algorithms. Again, what this means for you, the core knowledge now includes, in addition to the previous content that was already there, machine learning algorithms, which includes supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and reinforcement learning. We debuted this content at the last conference, and the exam will reflect this updated content in the new year, so that will have given people adequate time to digest the new content, learn it, review it, and prepare for future exam questions on this material. Here's an example of one of the new visual displays that we discuss in the data visualization section. Just waterfall charts showing changes between elements over time. So please feel free to go and check that out. And then in the machine learning section, I highly encourage you to take a look at that as well. We cover different algorithms for supervised learning, including classification and regression, unsupervised learning, including clustering, and then reinforcement learning, which we just touch on briefly. And we have tried to relate this content specifically to cost estimating, since machine learning is a really broad field, but still becoming more and more relevant to us as cost estimators. So we wanted to discuss some of the most relevant algorithms, some of which we're already familiar with, like regression, or at least the concepts of regression, and tie those back to how we might apply those to data moving forward in our profession. And there has also been a new example added to tie into the new machine learning section. So feel free to go in and follow it and take a look at how those calculations might work and how to interpret a logistic regression model in order to assess the importance of various coefficients on the model and how to do some of the math behind logistic regression. Okay, with that, I'm going to turn it over to Kimberly to discuss the ICEA certification program.
Thanks, Kelly. So, hello, I'm Kimberly Roy, the VP of Professional Development, and I'll provide a brief update on our certification program, including eligibility changes, some key benefits, and some performance trends. So, whether you're a new member or a longtime supporter, there are some valuable takeaways for you that may help you in your path to prepare for taking a certification exam or spreading the word to others who may be interested in the certification process, any of the certifications that ICEA offers. So, as Christina mentioned, investing in yourself is important. So, whether it's through certification, education, or simply expanding your skill set, it's just one of those few investments that you can guarantee that will appreciate. It helps to elevate your professional credibility and builds the quiet confidence in knowing that you are qualified. So ICEA offers three core certifications, the CCEA, the PCEA, and the SCEC. So how do these certifications benefit the individual? These designations are more than just professional credentials. They are a signal of professional excellence. Having these certifications demonstrates that you've mastered the cost estimating concepts and helps employers to distinguish highly qualified candidates. How do the certifications benefit the employer? So, having ICEA certified analysts strengthens your organization's credibility. It reflects our shared commitment to quality, consistency, and capability in the cost estimating field. So, we made some updates to the PCEA eligibility pathway. So now individuals can earn the PCEA designation by passing part one of the exam, even if you don't have 2 years of experience in cost or cost adjacent field. So this is a great opportunity for rising professionals to be able to gain certification, really start gaining that understanding and knowledge that CBOC entails and being able to pursue one of the certifications. To take the PCEA, applicants are required to be in a cost estimating or cost adjacent field. And if you have any questions about that, please reach out to us so we can give you a list of some of those titles and career choices that may be included there. So if you as an analyst passes part one of the exam and have less than 2 years of experience, you'll be designated PCEA eligible. And then once you hit that 2 year mark, you'll earn the full PCEA status. And so the certification is valid for 3 years from the date of issue and is only renewable by retaking part one of the exam. So once you have 2 to 5 years of experience, you can take both parts of the exam. If you pass both parts, you will become CCEA eligible until you have the 5 year plus years of experience. Then you will be eligible to have that full CCEA certification. So essentially, 5 years and 1 day, you will then be able to have that full CCEA certification. The SCEC is the newest certification exam that focuses on software cost estimating. So if you have at least 2 years of relevant experience, you can sit for this exam. If you or your team works closely with software systems, this is an excellent credential that you may consider pursuing in the near future. So this summary helps you fully understand the experience level required to sit for the exams and when the certification transitions into the full PCEA and CCEA certification. So just know if you have less than the 2 years of experience, you are eligible to take it as long as you're in one of the cost or cost adjacent fields. And so if you pass the exam, you'll be PCEA eligible. And then once you hit that 2 year mark, you will have the full PCEA certification. If you find yourself with 2 to 5 years of experience and you take both parts of the exam and pass both parts, then you will essentially have the PCEA until you hit that 5 year mark. and then have the full CCEA, which essentially encompasses them both. So how do you apply to gain a certification? The application process is fully online. So you'll submit your application, wait for ICEA approval, you'll pay your exam fee, and then you will receive a custom link. So it's convenient, flexible, and self-paced, and it's perfect for the busy professional. So you'll be able to not have to worry about scheduling, one session each quarter or planning around there if you want to start essentially studying now and set a schedule and preparation, and then go ahead and submit your application, get your approval, and then go ahead, pay your exam fee, and go ahead and take your test when it's available and you have availability to do so. So we make it as easy as possible. So what drives exam success? We found that successful candidates have a combination of the following. So they have professional experience, and particularly in a national security setting. They have a strong understanding of the CBOC material. They usually participate in an employer-led study group, and some even teach or participate in the development of some of the exam questions. So for me personally, having a study group and a detailed schedule that we created to essentially say we're going to cover these modules this week, and had it set up to where we had a 3-month study period. And so it was me and 2 other colleagues where we got together each week in the evenings and set up time for us to just talk through the module that we're working on that week, any issues we had run against. So if somebody else had a better understanding, we would share that information. But that is what led to the collective success and all of us being able to pass the exam. So I would highly suggest you just taking the time to be able to see if you could create a group, a study group, and use that as a way to help you as you're preparing for your exam. So a few reminders. The exams emphasize breadth over depth. So you won't need to know advanced mathematics, but do expect questions that are outside of your direct experience. The modules in CBOC have been thoughtfully crafted to cover the material that will be tested. So please, please, please take the time to prepare for the exams. A couple of weekends of skimming through the material is probably not going to be enough time for you to be able to produce the results that you ultimately want. And so there aren't trick questions on the exam, but they are designed to test your comprehensive knowledge of the material and to, show that there is excellence tied to these certifications. So they're not going to be something that you can, study for, like I said, a couple weekends and then be successful. So just please take the time, make a plan, study hard, and we have all the confidence in the world that you'll be able to be successful. So ICEA is growing, and we hope to continue to grow even more with your help. We awarded 57 new certifications since last August and completed 119 renewals for certifications as well. So that's a testament to the strength of our professional community, and most importantly, it's a reflection of your commitment to excellence and continued development. We're continuing to see professionals recertifying their CCEA certification, which Kelly will talk more about in the next coming slides, which is amazing and just shows the commitment to continue learning as you gain professional development points each year to be eligible for recertification. And so I also want to note that there are 7 new SCEC certified analysts. So people are starting to take the software cost estimating exam, and that's wonderful. And so we hope to see growth in this certification in the coming years as well as people start knowing more about it and hearing more about this certification being offered from ICEA as well. So finally, certification status is available on our website. So if your name or someone on your team's name is missing, please reach out to us. We want to make sure that every active certificate holder is properly recognized. And also, we like to shout you out on LinkedIn as well, so the entire community can be aware of your accomplishments and congratulate you. So now we will hear from Kelly again to talk about how you keep and renew the certification that some of you have worked so hard to acquire.
Thank you. Yep, we put some of this information together a couple years ago, and it's been extremely helpful for a lot of people. So we just like to provide it for you on an annual basis. So get it recertified. Let's get started. Why? So having your ICEAA certification boosts your professional qualifications, it helps your company win new work, and it establishes you as a member of a community of experts in the field of cost estimating and analysis. You worked really hard to get your certification, so the effort it takes to renew it is, if done over, a good span of time, much less than the effort to study and retake the exam. So, how do you get recertified without having to retake the exam? You need 30 points over 5 years. If you do not meet this requirement, then unfortunately, you do have to take the exam again. For experience in the field every year, you get 3 points. So half of the requirements you need are covered just by working in the field. Your ICEA membership is a point per year as well. So now you're up to 20 points as long as you maintain an active membership over those 5 years. And then a lot of people attend the workshop every year. If you do that for the 5 years after you get certified, you're done, you have 30 points. But not everyone's able to attend the ICEA workshop. Some people might take a break from their professional experience, so then you need other ways to earn points. So some of those ways, other than attending the conferences, are to serve in a leadership role, contribute to a working group, committee, event, or publication, which is a point per role per year. If you win a national award or a chapter award, you get points associated with that as well. Relevant employer or other awards also count, so please log those as well. If you take any related university or college courses, that's 1 point per credit, up to 3 per semester. Industry training also counts at zero point 0.1 points per hour. If you teach, lecture, or present a 45 to 90-minute session, that's 1 point. Over 90 minutes is 2. You can write and publish articles. You can write and publish technical articles, which are worth 5 points per published article. And as we mentioned before, we have the YouTube CCEA videos that you can get points for watching those as well, and other ad hoc activities. So if you reach out to a member of leadership and ask if there's anything that needs to be done, how you might be able to help. For example, the people who helped with the revisions for the Module 6 update would most certainly be given points that are in line with the amount of time that they spent on doing that project. So the important thing is just not to wait until the last minute and then realize that you need recertification points and you have 2 months to get them in, and then all of a sudden now, whereas you may have been able to volunteer for 20 hours a year, now you have to volunteer for 100 in 1 year. Teaching 2 lunch and learns per year is a great way to get your points if you're unable to go to the conference. Teaching 10 in 1 year is much more ambitious. Same with training. If you spread it out, it's much more manageable. And same thing if you decide to publish a paper. Those are very time consuming. They take a lot of time. They require editing and peer review. So trying to do multiple papers in a short period of time would likely not be feasible. So, yes, just be thinking about recertification all the time, especially if you're like, oh, I normally go to the conference, but I can't go this year. What can you do this year to make up the points so that you're not scrambling to make them all up a couple years from now, all at once? And just a reminder, so those videos are a really great, quick way, especially if you are waiting for the government to get turned back on right now. If you have some free time, during lunch or in the afternoons. Search for international cost estimating on YouTube, and there are lots of videos for that are points eligible. Okay, I'm going to turn it over to Arlene.
Sorry. Thanks, Kelly. I'm Arlene Minkiewicz. I've been on the board this is my 9th year. This is my first attempt at the role of treasurer. So, but I'm anxious to move forward with this. Pardon me, I have a cold. As mentioned, Christina mentioned in her introduction, we have had several tough years financially. Currently, because of the travel restrictions and training budget cuts, and then ongoing effects, we're still trying to recover from what COVID cost us. So what you see here is our end of year financial positions for the last 6 years. And as you can see, 2020, we took a really big hit. We did things to recover. We had, some help from the government with grants and stuff like that. Because of, Christine also mentioned that the conference, although it was a phenomenal conference, it didn't have nearly the attendance that we would have hoped to bring us back into the black. The business office and the board of directors, we're continually trying to evaluate ways to make cost savings cuts and looking for potential revenue sources. We often talk about, specifically, so the conference has always, or the workshop has always been our biggest moneymaker. And we talk about not suspending the conference or workshop at all, but we talk about what other sources of revenue can we think about if we're going to see this continual trend of less attendance than we've had in the past. This summer we did decide because our checking account was getting to a point where we worried about being able to cover salaries and operating expenses. So we did make a decision to cash in one of our CDs. And if you look at the lower left-hand corner, you can see over the last 4 years what our total liquidity has looked like. So it's not the prettiest picture. I did not walk into this job with a huge, wonderful story to tell, but I think there's definitely things that we can do as an organization to try to help ICEAA expand its reach and thus expand its membership. Simplest thing that you can do is just get onto ICEAA's LinkedIn account and just share the love. If somebody posts something about an ICEAA event or something about an ICEAA member who just got certified, just share it. Share it with your network so that more and more people see things that are happening in ICEAA and ways that it might be valuable for them to be involved. And certainly just engaging with ICEAA and encourage membership and participation within your organization. Encourage and empower your employees to get involved by giving them time to share some time and talent to help ICEAA achieve objectives. Encourage certification for both your new and existing employees. Look around. If you have a local chapter, get engaged with your chapter. Companies can sponsor or host events and encourage attendance within their own employees and outside. Just events with higher engagement provide more networking opportunity, both for the sponsors and attendees, and more opportunities for people to spread the word. Involved ICEAA members to talk to interested potential ICEAA members and share a little bit more about how ICEAA is going to be valuable to them. And finally, one of the biggest things that we get when we ask questions about, what did you like? The surveys, what did you like? What did you not like about the conference? constantly they cite the high quality of content as a major motivation for attendance. So anytime you take an opportunity to share what you learn in your job and help create a more engaged audience, you are improving the quality of that conference, as well as improving your access to other high quality presentations. So the more contributions we have, create a wider, more valuable knowledge base. And then we have resources to help us update knowledge of current industry trends and estimating best practices. So we learn things in doing our job. We have to learn about a new technology. We have to learn about a new estimating practice. If we share that with the industry, we are adding value to the conference. Encourage your employees to attend, and encourage your employer to support attendance. Just try to be an ICEAA champion and spread the word. There's inexpensive, low time commitment ways to do that. And then there's increasing ways that you can do that as you see the value that doing that brings also to your own work environment and your own employer. Oh, turning it over to Madeline. Sorry, Madeline.
Yep. Hi, Madeline Teller, the Secretary of ICEAA, and it is my 5th year serving on the board. So happy to be, on the board representing everyone. And slide, please. So we have a new emeritus membership, and I'm actually going to hand this over to Christina to talk about.
Yeah, thanks, Maddie. So I appreciate that. So when I was a junior, Hank was one of the seniors that taught how to be a cost estimator to me straight out of college. So I have so much respect for Hank. For those that have never met him, he is a giant in our field. He not only was one of the reasons ICEAA was even founded, he was with ISPA at the time and worked with yay, there's claps for him. And worked with our other predecessor organization, ICEAA, to form ICEAA. So the reason any of this organization exists is really due to Hank. He's a Fryman Lifetime Achievement winner. He's an ICEAA Service Award winner. He has over 50 years of experience in aerospace and defense and still was writing papers. He is just an incredible human being and also exactly a steward of what we expect of ICEAA members. So big round of applause to Hank. It really makes me proud to acknowledge him as one of our new emeritus members. So thanks, Maddie. Passing it back to you.
Great. Thank you, Christina. All right. So we have a slide of our membership composition, and right now it is not, okay, it's taking its time on my screen, but I'll just go ahead and talk to it while it loads. We've got about 1,200 members. Oh, it's animations, 1,200 members total. Our US membership is about 83% of that, and 17% of that is represented internationally across 6 continents. Within the US industry, that's going to be further split between the government and industry. About 70% total lies within the industry chunk of it. And then within that, still, that's going to be broken down even further. The government, primarily the members are DoD with a small amount otherwise. And then within industry, it's going to be largely consulting firms. And that's the biggest chunk of our overall membership, with also about 112 members in the OEMs. Of our international community, that's going to be broken up between government and industry, slightly more in industry, but not as drastic of a split as you see in the United States. All right. So this next slide is going to show a visual representation of the spread of our membership globally. As you can see, we've got some representation at least across all of the continents. Australia has a pretty large contingent there, as well as Europe, and then North America pretty much all over the place. Patrick Casey, our Region 1 director, put this heat map together for us. And He is now going to brief the ICEAA workshop survey analysis. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you very much. My name is Patrick Casey with Context Services, and I'm the New England Region 1 Director of ICEAA. I love data analysis, and I'm going to echo Christina's view on the workshop. It's one of the things that I look forward to most every year. It's a great time, great professional environment. So I was very lucky to be able to play around with the workshop survey results data, specifically to try and find relationships and trends that we can use to enact real change at an event that I'm passionate about. So what we did was we took the past 10 years of responses from the workshop survey that is sent to all members. We also paired this with some financial data to do some deep dives in trends and relationships. The first thing we needed to do was filter and normalize the data. So we cut down the data to about 1,200 high effort responses, filtering out the people who may have just responded for the certification points. We also normalized the scores, going from qualitative to quantitative to perform some of this analysis, and adjusted costs for inflation. I chose my favorite inflation indices, Air Force 3600. So some of the things that we learned was that breakout session satisfaction is very highly correlated with overall workshop satisfaction. So as the presentations and keynotes get better, the overall score for the workshop gets better. We also saw correlation between networking in the ICEAA awards with overall satisfaction. So obviously, networking is very important, and being recognized in the field is very important. We also saw that attendees consistently want topics on AI, data, risk, and software. So we decided to pull that string a little bit further and do some additional large language model type language analysis. And so what we did was we saw what people wanted and what potentially stops you from coming to the workshop. So one of the things that we saw in some of the responses to the most valuable session was that workshop attendees really like the AI topics, learning opportunities, job relevant topics, and are always looking for topics on AI, data, government tools, and software. And so obviously, our sessions and papers should reflect these themes. One of the things that we saw in responses to why you might not return, pretty explanatory there, right? We've all been in the same boat there as occasionally wanting to attend, but the travel wasn't approved. A lot of people said they wanted to go in 2026, just not sure if it'll be funded. So what we learned here was that it's not disinterest, it's access and funding. Another thing that we saw was that many first-timers rate networking higher than repeat attendees. So these first-timers are eager to engage and are really thankful for that networking opportunity that the workshop provides. So the key takeaways for ICEAA, actionable insights that we can do to make the workshop a better, more successful place is, focusing on breakout session quality, aligning topics and papers with your interests, and helping attendees justify the value of the workshop to leadership. And another thing we're constantly trying to do is improve support for first-timers. So, in conclusion, people really want to come. They want good sessions and they want relative content. So, let's help each other get to Norfolk. And one of the ways that I would highly recommend, encouraging others is volunteering. The more people we have working at these workshops, the better they are. I know I started volunteering at my very first workshop, and it was such a great way to meet people like Christina and Megan and really start to get involved in the organization as a whole, which led me to my position here. So we're always looking for people to help before the workshop. We need people to review papers, judge award nominations, and recruiting keynote speakers. And we also need people to help at the workshop, at the registration desk when you first arrive, as room monitors, introducing people and holding Q&A, as well as teaching CBOC modules. So if you're interested in any of that, please email ICEAA and tell us how you'd like to volunteer. I'll pass it back over to Megan. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thanks, Patrick. And thanks everybody who's come so far. You guys, I really appreciate everybody getting to know the board that you guys elected. So the things that we have available to you that are coming up, I want to say some ICEAA opportunities. Don't forget, as always, we have the archives. It's available on the front page of the website. It's listed twice in case you're not sure if it's called the Archives or the Papers Library, but it's right up there on the front page. And once you get to it, it's a searchable table where you can find the topics and authors that you've been looking for. You can search by author, you can search by keyword, and it'll bounce you over to, it'll show you the relevant papers that our members have presented at the workshops over the years. We were able to go back to about 2007, but before, the papers from the before time are a little more challenging. So if you're looking for something from back before Dropbox, then make sure you email us because we might have it, we might not. The main event for next year is going to be in Norfolk, and if you want to make sure your best odds of going are to get your paper accepted. And if you want to get your paper accepted, you have to write an abstract. We can't accept papers that we don't get abstracts for. Send those to us by November 3rd. Our team of judges and reviewers will go through them and pick the ones that are first to go on the schedule, and then we'll let folks know who don't make it that they're on the wait list for when space becomes available. But the first step to getting to Norfolk is to get your abstract accepted. So make sure you start thinking about that. And another thing you might want to start thinking about that will be happening at the conference are the association awards. We have a list of an entire PDF of advice on how to write your nomination and or write nominations for others. Try to be involved in your nomination. Think about, if you think of someone who is deserving of an award, reach out to them and let them know you don't have to do this on your own. Go over ask for their resume, ask for their performance review, look for the things that will really sell the case that the person that's been impacting your life positively is going to get the recognition they deserve. And frankly, even if they don't, just to know that someone else that they worked for really cares about what they do and how they've helped everything is a wonderful gift you can give to someone who's made your life better. So those aren't going to be due until March 9th, but once again, if you find yourselves with a little bit of spare time and want to share some love, an award nomination is a great way to do it. For those of you looking for education opportunities, especially in the DC area in the coming month, ICEAA has partnered with two other groups, the Project Controls Expo, who will be at Nats Park next week. They've offered us a discount code for our ICEAA members in thanks for our support there. Christina and I will be at the ICEAA table if anybody is going to be there already and wants to stop by. And likewise, later in the month, we'll be down in Roslyn with the Earned Value Management Practitioners Forum. If any of you are going to be there, I'll be there as well. Swing by. But also, these are good examples of outside of ICEAA events that qualify for your recertification points. The quick and easy way to tell is, are the keywords in their presentations similar to keywords that you have seen in ICEAA presentations? Are they covering the same topics? If so, that's one that's going to count for your recertification points. So if ICEAA's workshop is out of reach for you, but you do see similar events such as this one, not only do we encourage you to go to them for your recertification points, but please let us know about them. I would love to be able to partner with more of these groups and share some support, co-marketing and whatnot, so that we can help each other spread the word about our organizations. So with that, I have been keeping an eye on the chat most of the time. We got one question, but it's a little complicated, so I'll be taking that one offline. Christina, I know we got one over email earlier today that you were going to talk to.
Yeah, so one was, what advice can you give to help chapters grow their membership and participation in chapter events? And I don't think it's an easy answer. I wish I had something a little cleaner for you guys, but the truth is, I think if you listen to Patrick and I, especially when we talk about our involvement, we gave to ICEAA first. If you want to get something out of ICEAA, I believe the more you give to ICEAA, the more you get back from it. It's one of those weird transactional relationships in that way. So to help the chapters grow their membership, I really think we need advocates. We need people that are excited about ICEAA, that are passionate about it, and want to share that passion with others. For chapter events, it might be slow going. Not everybody is as fortunate as SoCal or DC to have the big membership. So it might be just a couple of people at your first event. We've seen with chapters that the most successful ones are the ones where there are people to pass the baton. There was an excited person who got another person behind them that wasn't excited and just kept the energy going. If you need help with that, please reach out to Megan and myself. We always are here. We do have ideas. We do know people we can link you up with that can say, hey, we've seen that membership really like this kind of event versus others. Uh, if you are sitting out there in chapter land, as Megan likes to call it, if you're out there in chapter land and you say, hey, I really would like to go meet more people in my particular region, in my area, let us know and let us see what we can do. Linking you up with those chapter presidents, with your region directors, and seeing what we can come up with. Because I do like the grassroots effort, but in the end, it's enthusiasm. Uh, the other question we got, Megan, was can you describe the special interest groups and how you can get more involved with them? Our most active special interest group is the OEM group. And I believe we have links online to that, right, Megan, for people who, yeah, so the link is online if you're an OEM and want to be involved with that. I will say all of the special interest groups, and this might be just how I view it, is sometimes those take away from the broader perspective of ICEA. And so instead of segmenting our small organization up even further, if you're interested in data analysis and you find out that there's other people, I mean, all of us should be interested in data analysis, but if you're really interested in how a particular platform might be applicable within cost estimating, I would encourage you, it's within that networking to reach out. But I don't want us to be so exclusive. We have this club and this club and this club and this club. We're all ICEA. We all benefit from each other. And so I really think the involvement, I would love to see more at the chapter level and at the ICEA full level, because there's plenty of volunteer positions that we really could use help with.
Uh, to echo one of the quote, the chat that just came in, and then I have to say, yeah, spread the word. We're a community. The community is really what makes us go. If there's a group that you want to be a part of, or a group that you, or a topic that you want to explore, we'll be happy to facilitate you connecting with people. But that energy and the gas in the engine is still coming from our members. So we will provide you with the forum, and I will help in absolutely every way we can. But we definitely need you guys to stay interested and motivated to keep these going, because we're more than happy to cheer you along and give you all the pieces that you need. But a community's is the community. So if you have an idea, let us know. We'll be happy to help it happen. So with 2 minutes and no more questions that have come in, Christina, would you like to take us out of the meeting, please?
Yeah, so I think the that is a great way to end this is we need you guys. We really love our enthusiastic members. Just as an example, you guys saw Patrick Casey's analysis. He just said, hey, Megan, I know we've collected data. Can I see that? Absolutely. Anytime. Anybody, I am very much so believing in being fully open and transparent. If you guys have ideas, if you're interested in anything, that you're like, hey, does ICEA do this? Have you guys thought about this? But I'd like to help with it. That's what we're looking for. Not just, hey, we'd like to see more of this. I'd like to see this, so I'm willing to help run this. That's what we're really looking for. And that's what we really need to go forward over the next year. So with all of that, I'm so excited to see all of you guys in Norfolk. It's going to be an amazing workshop. I love Norfolk. It's one of my favorite cities. You can laugh at me, but I really do mean that. So please get your abstracts in. Reach out to ICEA at ICEA Online if you need anything, and we're here to help. Thank you guys so much for your lunch hour.